world to come here. Put your hands together for Natalia! Woo!
What's up, you guys? My name is Natalia, and a few years back, I had a neighbor who was an elderly woman from Romania. And she told me that she was retired, but she was supplementing her income by cleaning houses. So one day I just decided to clean my kitchen, but I was too lazy, so I wanted to give her some business. And she came over with all her supplies and equipment, and as she was scrubbing my floor, she goes, "You know, I grew up in Romania, and communism destroyed my health. I had 4 heart attacks, and my doctor told me that I can drop dead at any moment." And I'm like, can you define a moment? Like, is it gonna be enough time for you to get the fuck out of my kitchen? And I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I just don't really want anybody dying in my house. And especially not an Eastern European woman who lived through communism. Because there's only enough space for one of us. And I know she'll be back because every time you're gonna throw away a plastic bag, she's gonna be right behind you. In Romania, we had to work for 5 years to buy a plastic bag. Every time you wanna throw away pizza, leftover, she's gonna be right behind you like, you know, in Romania, you could feed a family of 12 for a month with that pizza. So she will haunt you forever. And I know because I'm the same way. I'm not from Romania, but Russia was the same way. We were really poor. The only way we could make money was selling porn from South Carolina. and we also had no food. We had horrible shortages with food during communism, especially with meat. Meat was very scarce, so people had to improvise. There was a woman who found out that her husband was a serial killer / cannibal. And she found out because she found steaks in her freezer. So you know the situation in the country is bad when you find pot roast in your freezer and immediately go and count your neighbors. Especially when the pot roast had a tattoo. Now I'm sure there were some other red flags, of course, but being Soviets, we really learned to ignore them. And obviously most people did not resort to cannibalism, so we picked mushrooms. Mushroom picking was huge in Russia. Like, it was a national pastime, because we really didn't have anything else to do. But there are mushrooms who are very deadly for you. So my mother used to teach me as a child. She would say, you know, there are good mushrooms and bad mushrooms. And the bad mushrooms can kill you instantly, like I will if you don't listen. And to tell the difference is bad mushrooms have a skirt around the leg under the cap. I'm like, okay, so that's pretty easy, you know, self-explanatory, let's go. And she goes, but nature made some bad mushrooms look like the good ones, so they don't have the skirt. I'm like, what the fuck? You really can't trust nobody, not even a fucking mushroom? So how can you tell the difference? And she goes, by taste. I'm like, you just said that they're poisonous and deadly. And she goes, you don't put the whole thing in your mouth and swallow, stupid. I'm like, that's what she said. You just nibble a little bit and spit it out. And then she did like the whole alien thing with her mouth, like, and then started spitting like, that was a bad one. And she would go to the woods for 5-6 hours and she would just bring buckets full of mushrooms. And every day I was like, today's the day. And if you ever saw a news on the news, Russian family wiped out. That's probably the mushrooms. And then she would make tons of mushroom soup. That was her to go to. It was basically boiled water from boiled mushrooms. And I hated that soup so much. And she would say, you know, there are starving kids in Africa that would die for this soup. And I'm like, did you say for or from? And just because they're starving doesn't mean that they're gonna lower their standards. And she even does this to this day. She goes mushroom picking. And she wanted me to go with her, and I'm like, you know, I can go to Aldi, and for $2.99, I can buy mushrooms that don't have a 50% chance of killing me instantly. And that's why I love this country, and God bless America. Thanks, guys.